Welcome to Gardening with Ben, the podcast where we dig into the soil of our gardens and the depths of our green thumbs. I'm your host Ben, here to guide you through the joys of gardening from sowing seeds to reaping bountiful harvests. Each episode will explore tips, tricks and tales from the garden and allotment, sharing insights from ourselves and stories from our own back garden adventures. Whether you're a seasoned gardener or just getting your hands dirty for the first time, there's something here for everyone. So grab your brew and gardening gloves and let's get growing with Gardening with Ben. Hey everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Gardening with Ben. Well, the weather has changed absolutely at the moment, and long may it last. It's been like 16, 17 degrees in weather today. I saw the forecast yesterday and I thought, yes, please be like this, please be like this. I want to start my seeds off. We need to get them started. I feel like I'm behind because I look at old photos when they pop up and stuff like that, and I'm thinking I should have stuff planted by now. I should have it planted, but I hadn't got any seeds planted. The only seeds that I'd got planted were my carrot seeds, which I've shown recently on one of my TikTok videos. But yeah, my carrot seeds are germinating, they're popping through, they're taking sprout. I'm fingers, I'm holding my fingers crossed so that I get some carrots this year because I've never had any success with carrots. I'm growing them in a raised bed planter, which I purchased online. And yeah, we will see if they grow or not. At the moment, I'm keeping them in the polytunnel where it's nice and warm, and the raised bed container has a cover over it as well, so it's even warmer. So hopefully it will speed them on and get them growing fast. And yeah, hopefully we're going to get a fantastic crop of carrots. So you'll have to make sure you stay tuned for that and see how we get on. But if you're not following my Instagram or my Facebook page, do give them a follow, and also my TikTok page. They're all Gardening with Ben. But yeah, you will find them. So, did we get any seeds planted today? Well, yes, we did. We went to the range to buy all our seeds this year. Usually it's Wilko's, but obviously Wilko's is shut and new shops are reopening again. But the range sell all the Wilko's seeds, so I purchased all my seeds from there. And yeah, we have got started in sowing all our seeds. And I'm one of these people that are eager to get them all started. And I've started my tomato seeds off. And how I've started my tomato seeds off this year is the same way that I've done them last year. Last year, I got some tomatoes from the supermarket, some nice tasting ones. There were small cherry ones, which were yellow, red, and orange. And what I did with these last year is I cut them in half, scooped the seeds out, put them straight into soil, and they all germinated. And we had a fantastic crop. I grew them outside first time, and I was happy with how they tasted. And they all ripened and I didn't get no diseases on them or anything like that. And the reason why I grew them outside is because the year before we'd had a heat wave and I struggled to keep up with watering them. And I thought if they're outside, there's more moisture in the ground for them to get hold of and get growing. And yes, we had a fantastic crop. So I thought I'll do that again this year. So I bought the exact same ones again this year, and we've cut them in half, and we have took the seeds out, we've put them in soil, and we have hopefully get them to germinate. We've covered them with cling film to keep them moist and warm, and they're in my greenhouse, which is unheated. I don't have a heated greenhouse. It's unheated, and I still managed to get them to germinate. So if you're worrying about whether it needs to be heated or not, my greenhouse is unheated, and I've grown them in there for the past few years and had plenty of success. So unheated greenhouses are fine. Obviously, if they're heated, they will speed it up, but I don't have a heater and I wouldn't like to leave a heater on an unmanned allotment. And yeah, we get a good crop from that. So we've got all that growing, and I've been out and bought all my seeds. I've got my beetroot, I've got my lettuce, I've got my cauliflowers, I've got my cabbages, I've got my radish, I've got my sweet corn, I've got my cucumber, I've got my peppers, I've got my courgettes, I've got my pumpkins, I've got my squash. I'm trying to think of other things. And then I've got some sunflowers and calendula and some asters planted. I've probably got a lot more other seeds than that, but those are the ones that I have remembered. But yeah, we've got all them planted today, and if you've got me on Instagram, you can see the photo of them all planted today. There's still a lot more seeds left that I do need to get planted and get started. I need to start my peas off. That is another thing I need to get started. So hopefully we'll get them up and running next time I'm on my allotment. But for the next 4 days, I'm going to be working. So unfortunately, I won't be able to get them planted for a bit. But I want to plant them straight into the ground. And I don't know. I'm thinking, do I plant them straight into ground? Because we do have rats, we do have mice, we do have squirrels, and they will all eat them. And I don't want to lose them all. As soon as they start shooting through, that's when they start eating them, and they eat all the crops and the sprouts coming off them. I'm still undecided yet on whether I actually sow them into the ground or sow them in pots first to get them to a good, decent size. But we'll keep thinking about it. I've got 4 days to think about it, whether I plant them into the ground or whether I start them off in pots first. And that is one of the usual things that I do with my runner beans. I start them off in pots, get them to a good size, and then I plant them all outside to protect them from the small animals. But we won't be planting runner beans till April. April time is the time for planting runner beans, so we don't need to buy them yet. I'll be purchasing them closer to the time. And I'll also be buying some climbing beans, which I need to buy. They're not ready to be planted till April yet. I was reading all the packets as I was picking them up. It said April on them, so I don't need to buy them yet. But yeah, we have got a lot of stuff growing, and this is the exciting bit. So we've got all them in trays. We've got them all watered. We've got them all covered with cling film. I've put labels on them all. Yes, I've remembered to put the labels on. I made sure of that, and I've used a label printer as well this year, rather than actually writing on tags. So if you're on TikTok, do give it a watch, and you'll see the label printer which I've purchased, and I've also put the link into that as well. So gardening with Ben on TikTok, I've shared a little video of the label printer that I purchased, and it's no ink in it. It's a thermal printer, so it burns it onto the label, and you can just keep charging it up. It doesn't take batteries, so hopefully they will stay on. If not, I'll lose all my labels off them and I'll not know what's in it all. So hopefully over the next few weeks, if it stays warmer, they'll all start germinating, and this is why I use the winter period as a time to improve all my plot, do all the little jobs that need doing and getting it all ready, because the springtime is a busy time. Like sowing all the seeds today took literally all morning and all afternoon. It took forever, and I've still not planted all my seeds yet. I've still got a load more left to plant, and it can be time consuming, and it'll get even worse when I'm having to start watering them all once I have to take all the cling film off and they start growing. I'll have to keep watering them all every day, and then when they're big enough I'll have to transplant them all into individual pots and then water them and keep them growing. So yeah, it is a busy time. So this is why I always say about doing all them jobs in the winter time. But today I managed to sit down in my brand new chair on my allotment and just take stock of everything that I've done over this last few months down at the plot and all the money I've spent on it. Yes, I have spent a lot of money on it, but like I say, all these podcasts go back into funding it and improving it. And I've planted so many spring bulbs. My neighbour on my plot said to me how beautiful it smelled. He could smell it on his plot, all the hyacinths. The fragrance was just wafting everywhere, and it just looks absolutely amazing. And even I had a visitor come down, one of my friends, to my plot that had not been down for a couple of years, and she says, "You've gone posh this year, haven't you, with your plot, Ben?" And I said, "Yes, it's gone a lot posher this year. I've got all my wood chipped down on my paths and all around my beds and around my fruit areas, all wood chipped. I've got all my paving slabs down, and it's all neat and tidy. It all looks really good down there, and I've put so much time and effort in, and I'm using it to show you what can be done on an allotment site and what can be grown and how to look after it and improve it, and it gives you little ideas on stuff you can do, and I just love sharing it all with you all. So yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, we're going to have a successful year. And I'm looking forward to going down in 4 days down, having a sneak peek, seeing if anything's germinating, which it probably won't do. But you always do that, don't you? You keep going down, having a sneak peek, seeing if anything's shooting through or not. That first bit of growth that comes through, you're like, woo, yes, it's coming. And then you've still got to wait until July, August time before you can eat it. But yeah, you do get so much happiness from seeing stuff grow and how it improves over the year. So it has been a busy day down at the allotment today, and I'm sorry that we've not had a podcast for a while, but we're going to keep popping them up and talking about our activities down at the allotment and how things are growing and how it's all coming along and sharing those tips and advice that I do with you all. So I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. As always, please do remember to keep smiling, keep shining, and keep gardening with Ben, everyone. Until next time, remember, we'll see you all soon. And that wraps up another episode of Gardening with Ben. Thank you for joining me in this journey. Remember, every seed planted is a step towards a greener world, and every day is a chance to grow something beautiful. Keep nurturing your gardens and your souls. Until next time, I'm Gardening with Ben, reminding you to let your garden be your sanctuary. Happy gardening and see you in the next episode. Remember, keep smiling, keep shining, and keep gardening with Ben.